If you're trying to batch a month's worth of content and it's burning you out, stop. After running a marketing agency for the last 7 years where I have helped creators grow to over 1 million, I can tell you it's the wrong strategy, and here's what actually works. Hey, I'm Michelle Gifford. I help you grow your personal brand online, especially with social media. And while I love the creative part of all the things, there is so much strategy that we need to learn and embrace in order to do this long term. So in this video, I'm going to run through exactly how I plan my content, how I organize every video so nothing gets lost, how I batch, and how I track what's actually working. Because if you skip the last part, you're flying completely blind. Okay, you're gonna wanna save this one because this is my complete content planning system all in one place. First, let's talk about how much you should be planning in advance. I recommend having a general idea of what you're gonna post for the month, but really only dial in to what you're gonna be posting for the next 2 weeks. Because Instagram moves so quickly, and just because the creative process is what it is, planning out for 30 days and then filming for 30 days can feel super overwhelming, and so no one ever does it, and then it just doesn't work out. So if we can commit to 2 weeks at a time, you're always ahead enough so, you know, if something comes up with your family or your kids or whatever, that you have some things in the bank. You kind of know what's coming, but you don't have to have a whole content day because most people just don't work like that. So I call this my 12 post system. It's 2 weeks, 6 posts a week, and this is how I plan it for me and as well as my clients. First step is to build a strategy. So I will set aside an hour of my time, right? You don't give yourself too long, and also you do have to schedule it. I will ask 4 questions. What are my goals for this month? What am I actually trying to accomplish? Is it emails? Is it growth? Am I launching a product? What are the goals for this month? Because every decision after that is going to get filtered through that. The second thing I ask is, what do my analytics say? So our analytics are telling us something. They are letting us know what's working and what's not working. And so when we look at our analytics, we can see like, what are the things that are actually causing us to grow? What pieces of content get us new followers? So if our goal is to get new followers, we can find those pieces of content and then double down on that content. Then I'll look at like, what did perform well last month? What is not performing well? Why do we think it didn't perform well? Is there something that we need to change? But analytics gives us information, helps us create better content going forward. We can't be scared of it. Number 3, what do I repeat? If something is working on Instagram, do it again, lean in. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do like an exact replica, but if you're looking at your piece of content and every time you do a green screen, breaking down a difficult current event, and that brings you a ton of followers, keep doing it till it's not working anymore. And if you have something that hasn't brought you 1 million followers yet, but you have something that your audience loves and you like creating it, and it's something that is building your credibility and you think it has potential to take off and really go viral at some point, or at least be that consistent nurturing piece, then keep doing it. So for example, I have a get ready with me style video where I'm doing my hair and I'm breaking down what I am seeing in the social media industry, and I'm breaking it down as I'm talking. Now, those are not my most or highest viewed content right now, but the credibility that it adds to my channel is huge. And I am getting a lot of positive responses from it. So I'm going to repeat that. It's not that it's like going viral, but it is something that is doing exactly what I want it to do. And then the 4th thing I ask is, what am I testing out? So we are going to repeat things that work, but we also need to always have room to test things out that we want to, either different formats or different types of content or different topics. And we have to leave room for that. And when we're analyzing that, I think about, does this have potential still? Because you can post once and it not take off, but if you post and post and post something over and over again, then it suddenly takes off and it completely changes your Instagram. So for example, I have a post that I post every Monday, and it's my trends post where I do a roundup of all the trends that are happening on Instagram. Now, I did that for almost 3 months before it really got traction. I was doing okay. I'd get some followers here and some likes and shares there. But about 3 months into that is when it really started taking off. And I knew that it had great potential to bring in people because I could see the signs, I could see things building, but it took a few months for that. So with Instagram, we got to allow for that. We have to think about all of these different things that are happening and where we want people to go. Once I've done that analysis, I will bring up my calendar and I will make every post decision around 3 things. One is the type of content, the topic, and the format. So types is the container. How are we delivering this? So it's like, is it a reel? Is it a carousel? Is it a single image? Pretty simple. Topics come from your content pillars. So as you're creating, when I build a brand strategy for a client, one of the things we do is we build brand messaging, like around what are we trying to accomplish here and how do we speak to our specific audience? And from there, we can pull out like the 3 to 5 places of value that we can add to our audience. Then we can pull out 3 to 5 topics that are valuable to our audience and that we want to talk about on our Instagram and really own. These are our pillars. These are the pillar types of content. So mine, for example, are Instagram news and updates, Instagram strategy, quick posting tips, women empowerment, and marketing breakdowns. And then from those pillars, I have sub-pillars that I have a running list of different topics that I can talk about under each pillar. I recommend doing this. This is something that's super valuable to have and to think through once, and then you can use that information as you go forward. Now, if you are like, ugh, how do I do this? Then you need my custom GPT, it's Michelle AI, and I've trained it on all of my frameworks and teachings that I've been teaching and helping people grow with. And you get access to it and it'll help you build out your brand messaging and your pillars and everything you need to start posting. Then we have format. Now, format is basically a Reels decision. And so so that's like, how are you presenting the information? Is it a green screen, a talking head? Is it a quick tutorial or quick win? Is it storytelling? Is it B-roll? Is it a voiceover? Is it a POV style? A listicle, a before and after? Is it a this or that comparison? And those are the basic formats that you can choose from. So if you have your pillar topics, right? And then a list of subtopics under each pillar, and then you have all of these different formats, then you can choose a format that fits best for you. When I'm trying to choose which format, like is it a green screen, is it a listicle, I think about what do I like to create, what do people like to consume, and what makes the most sense with the piece of content that I'm trying to create. So now I'm going to look at my calendar. The way that I do this is through Airtable. Airtable is a project management system, and I use this for me and my clients. My favorite thing about Airtable is that you can look at things in different views. You can have a view where you look at the calendar, and that's where I start planning this, and then you can have a task view where it's like, okay, what tasks do I have? And then you can look at projects and where is every project on the line to completion. So now that I have the topics that I want to talk about and the type of content I'm going to create, I'm going to go into my calendar in Airtable and I'm going to fill out the next 2 weeks. And I will just create a piece of content. I will create like a tab for each piece of content. I'll put the hook. I'll put like what I want to talk about in it, like a brief description. And then I'll also write the script if there's a script to write. And then I'll link to any inspiration reel that I have, so that what I want to do in this phase is do all of the heavy like creative work so that when I'm ready, I can just go in and film and I don't have to think about anything. I've already thought about the details here. And then when it's time to film stuff, I have everything laid out ready for me to film. So I will put in as much information as I can in here. And again, this is where I would use some AI. Biggest piece of advice is to get Michelle AI because it can help you with your hooks and your captions, and you can voice message exactly what you want to say in the script, and then it'll polish up the script for you and write that out. So it really saves a ton of time, and it's doing it with my process so that it's also strategic. You can do this in a lot of different programs, but I really like Airtable because when I'm working on a project, I can put it in the different phase of completion so that I know what I have to do to film and where my each piece of content is in the process. So we use this a ton with clients. We run an agency, so it'll be a little bit different for your personal use, but if you run an agency, this is a really great way to do it. But if you're a solo creator, you can definitely simplify this process. The point here is that every card has a home at every stage of your preparation. And then nothing falls through the cracks and you aren't left with like, oh wait, where is this piece of content? Like, what am I supposed to do here? So that process of planning it out should take you 1 to 2 hours. Now, maybe the first time it takes you more, but as you do this more and more, it becomes easier and it becomes more streamlined. And also, because I'm going to teach you some things coming up, it's going to make it so much faster and better. Because we're going to talk about phone storage. We're talking about like researching when you're on Instagram about the type of content you want to create. Those things, we're coming, stick with me. We're doing all of it. All right, let's talk about storage. I get these questions all the time, like how do you actually store your your content? Take a breath with me, because you're not gonna like this answer. You're gonna have to do some work. If you don't have a storage system right now, then you just have to start a storage system. I'm gonna break down how I do it and how I recommend doing it, and then I want you to customize it for yourself. One recommendation is that you have 2 phones. One phone is your personal phone, and one phone is for your content creation. And then it makes it a lot more simple because your content isn't mixed up with your family pictures, because that can be really hard. If you do have a separate phone and you do just create content on a separate phone, then you can have like an assistant or whatever as part of your iCloud, and they can help you keep it organized, right? Because they have access to it. But most people don't have 2 phones. I'm just saying that that's a good idea if you can. So the key here is that you're going to need to create folders. So in my pictures on my phone, I have a bunch of different folders, and this folder system is what keeps things organized, and it's where I can find everything really quickly. So the first and one of the most important folders you can have is a B-roll folder. And this is where you just put all of your B-roll in it, and then you have access whenever you want to just post something quick and easy. You have this B-roll that you can just go grab. And the great thing about it is it becomes a bank, and the more you put in it, the more you can use to create more content. Another one is I have a talking head video one. I put all of my content in there. So as you're thinking about how you want to organize it, I do it by format, like B-roll or talking head. But another way to create your folders is by date or by pillar. So like the topic that you're talking about. Most of my clients use iCloud, and so they'll just share their iCloud folder with me and my team. But if you don't have that, you can do it in Dropbox or whatever storage platform you have. But you just have to be religious with how you organize your content. This isn't something that's gonna just magically happen. And so if you're in Dropbox, I do it by year, and then month, and then individual file. Okay, so, and then for naming those individual files, whatever the pillar is, and then a brief description of what the content's about. This makes it really searchable when you go to find like what you want to do. So this is if you're using like Dropbox or something like that. Whatever folder system you want to use, or wherever you're going to store things, I just want you to choose it and stick with it. And you have to be really consistent with when you're creating this content, that you are constantly putting it where it needs to go. This isn't magically going to happen. I have seen AI with like video from your video camera, like it organize it and name it and all those things. I haven't been able to do that yet. So I know that there's some AI coming, but what I want you to do is just start right here. Start where you are. Do not worry right now about going back and renaming and resaving all of your content, because you will not do that. I wouldn't do that. That makes me tired. Think about, how am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Is it after every time I video? Is it after every video? Whatever. And then just commit to doing it going forward. Just know this isn't extra. This isn't silly. This is actually part of the business process. If you talk to any creator who is a serious creator and making money as a serious creator, or like making money as their business because they're a personal brand, you got to know that they're taking their content very seriously. Like, this is not an afterthought. This is like, hey, we're doing it. And figuring out how to save that content is huge. Now we're going to batch our content. This is non-negotiable. You have to put on your calendar that you're going to create content and block out some time, because this isn't something that you're going to be able to just like fit it. And this is something that when you get in that creative space, you can do it after you washed and blow dried your hair, you got your makeup on, or whatever, right? Where you feel camera ready, and you can do it all at once. If you don't put this in your calendar, then it's not gonna happen. And then you're gonna be really frustrated when your content's not working. Well, you didn't make it a priority. So make it a priority. So when I think about batching, I recommend batching like my filming at one time and my editing and preparing for publishing at a different time. Because when I am creating and filming, it's a really different energy. It's a really different mind space that you're in. And then editing, well, that can be squeezed in at different times, right? You don't always look the way you want to when you're ready to film. And so carving out that space to film, and then making a space for you to edit and get it ready for publish, but do them at different times. So film a bunch at once and then edit a bunch at once. And because you did all the planning in the steps before, you can just pull up your Airtable or spreadsheet or Trello board or however you do it, and you have all of your content ready to go and to film. And you don't have to waste most of your time. You don't have to waste a couple hours on Instagram scrolling, because you've already done that, right? You've already done the research, it's ready to go. Now, I know I just said, okay, we've already scrolled through Instagram. This is a little trick I do to keep my content research productive. One of the biggest things, because I know how this happens, right? You're like, okay, I'm gonna block off 2 hours to film, and then you block off 2 hours, you spend the first hour looking and scrolling through Instagram, and then you find a couple things that you want to do, and then you don't really filter them through your goals or analytics or anything like that. And then you just hurry and film, and then you hurry and get them ready to post. And then you're like, I don't know why it didn't work. And it's like, well, you didn't look at things through the lens of strategy, and we've got to do that. And so when I am just scrolling through Instagram, because I do it professionally, scroll for things to see what's going on, I also do it personally. And so as I'm scrolling, I have a saved folder system. So when I see a piece of content that I like, that I want to create something like it, I'm not going to copy it, but it is an inspiration. I can use it to inspire a piece of content. I will save it in that folder. So I have a B-roll one, I have an inspiration one, I have one that's about like Instagram strategy and so forth. Then when I'm scrolling, I can just put things in those different folders so that when I'm ready to actually spell out the calendar and write the scripts and things like that, I have all of that content in one place. I can go look at it and be like, oh, this is the one I was thinking of. I want to do something like this. And then I can link it in the calendar so that when I go batch, I can look at that reel and say, oh, this is what I was thinking and this is how I want to create it. So then you're not just scrolling on Instagram, but you're actively looking for things that are going to fit you and your business. And this is the only time you should be scrolling for inspiration, not when you're filming, not when you're scheduling, not when you're writing a script. Now let's talk about the last piece. And this might be one of the most important parts, but it is our scorecard. We keep a scorecard for me as well as for my clients. It comes from the book Traction, the EOS system. I'll leave a link to that book below. But you create a scorecard and you add your analytics every week at the same day and the same time, and you are tracking the numbers of the things that matter most. We will do things for Instagram. We'll do like shares or saves or like most accounts reached, percentage of non-follower reached, our highest story views. And so we keep track of all of these so that we can see what is actually happening from a week-to-week basis. Because what I see all the time is people panic when they have a bad week. But if you're able to track data across week from week, then yeah, you're gonna have low times, but you also can be like, oh, I can see why this is happening. And I get it all the time. You're scared of your numbers, you're scared of analytics, because if a reel doesn't perform, then it means something about you. And that's just not true. We have to separate us from the outcome of the performance of a piece of content. If a piece of content doesn't do well, it doesn't mean that you're not good. It doesn't mean that you don't know how to run a business. It doesn't mean any of that. But it does give us information about that piece of content. So maybe you tried a green screen video and you didn't have a great hook at the beginning. You didn't have compelling videos on the green screen. But we can then go and look at the numbers and say, like, why is this showing up like this? How can we do better next time? And it's like, oh, we need a better hook. Okay, that doesn't make you a bad person. That just makes you a good strategist because you are thinking about, oh, I can see why that didn't perform well, and now I'm going to do better going forward. So you are a business. Numbers matter. Numbers tell us things. So you've got to get over it. Start right now and go to your analytics and start looking around. What are the trends that you're seeing? What are the patterns? What can you learn right now so that you can start implementing that? Because you might see some things that are surprising, that maybe the reels that you thought were doing well, it's actually the carousels that are bringing in more followers. But how would you know that unless you look at your analytics and unless you track them on a scorecard? So having that scorecard and then having that once a week scorecard check-in where you put in your numbers and look at what's happened and where you're going just keeps you grounded in your goals. So that's the system, okay? You plan the month loosely and then you plan 2 weeks in detail, filter every post through type and format, build your filing system starting today, right now, film your content and batch edit your content, save inspiration during downtime, track your numbers every week. You want a personal brand. In 2026, you have to actually create content. Systems are what let you do that without burning out. Okay, do you have other questions? Will you let me know below? You can get my Airtable template. You can get access to Michelle AI. And if you want me to rewrite your Instagram bio, well, those are all linked below. All right, my friend, we'll see you next time.